Jollof.
It's fizzy bits.
Welcome back to another episode of the Couch Talk. I am your host, Sir Charles, aka Capo. I'm in the building. Yo, it's stuck in the middle. You know, we got a good episode coming up. But before we get into who my guest is and why we're here today, yo, make sure you visit www.sitmpodcast.com to shop your exclusive merch. You know, this is our 5-year anniversary. That is the fuel that drives this machine. So if you want to make sure that you're supporting us, go to that website, buy some free merch, stay tuned to everything that we got going on, hit the ringer bell, the notifications, stay all up to date with everything stuck in the middle, and make sure you support us. But yo, details to come out on our 5-year anniversary coming up soon. But back to my host, or back to my guest, back to my guest, the lovely Miss Carol. How are you doing today, Miss Carol?
I'm doing great. I'm recuperating.
I know.
Get back in the mix of things, but I'm doing great. Thanks.
I know it's a lovely Sunday, but we had a hell of a Saturday night.
We're just gonna hoover over that, but it's great Sunday so far.
Nah, for sure. Thank you for coming out to see the team. You know, I really appreciate you for coming out.
Of course, and thank you for having me.
Of course, you know, jumping onto the platform. So, first things first, you know, for the people that don't know you, who is Miss Carol?
Okay, I'm a lot of things, but Carol is striving entrepreneur. I'm also into IT. I do project management. Okay. I am a daughter, one of 10.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot.
Yes, I have 10 siblings, so I came from a huge family. I own a catering company, so like I said, I have a hat with a lot.
A lot of different hats.
Yes.
Okay, so wait, so you are from
Sierra Leone. And Guinea.
Okay, shout out to my Sierra Leonean Guineans out there.
Hey.
Bop. Okay, so you repping what tribe exactly?
Timni and Soso.
Hey, shout out to my Timni Uman.
Yes,
Uman. Okay. So wait, your mom is?
My mom is Timni and my dad is Soso.
Soso. Okay. So technically, you're more Ghanaian than you are.
No. I'm technically more Sierra Leonean. I was definitely born in Sierra Leone.
Okay.
And I'm closer to my Sierra Leonean side, clearly.
I know. I see you travel a lot, like back and forth. So you're there very often.
I do. I started actually about, I would say 2 years ago. That's when I actually went back for the first time in since I was like a kid. Mm-hmm. So, and when I went there, the vibe is different. I mean, out there clearly is completely different from where we have here. So I found a new sense of appreciation. So that's what kept me going back there. It's amazing. It's literally like detoxing from America a little bit. So yeah, there's more there. I will keep going. I actually have a trip coming up too.
You don't have to tell the people where, you know, if you don't want to, but where do you typically, you know, hang out and when you're in Freetown?
When I'm in Freetown,
not Freetown, just
Sierra Leone. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I found out on my last trip that the islands, yes, because Sierra Leone has a lot of islands, and it's so much better out there than like the city, because the city is so compact. Right. There's so much going on, and then like everybody that came from overseas is down there trying to, you know, do their flexing, and I'm over there like I just want to enjoy. I just want to like recuperate and just appreciate just the authenticity of, you know, being in Africa. So the islands gives you that, like, it's super chill. I'm like eating organic food, which makes my skin glows. So I love it. But mostly the islands. I've been to a few of them too, like Bure Island, Banana Island. Even.
Oh yeah.
I've been there.
I'm very familiar.
Yeah, I
been around.
Island hopping in Sierra Leone.
Okay, that's what's up.
And the villages too, honestly. My dad actually moved to Sierra Leone. That's how he met my mother. Okay. So he was also a teacher, and he taught in like some remote villages. So that's where he made his most impact. And so when I go, I try to go to the villages, you know, just see what's going on up there, to give him an update up here, because he can't really be traveling down there anymore.
I know, it's kind of like changing of the guard. Like when you're younger and you're going to Freetown frequently back and forth, or when you were there and then now you're coming back, or whatever the case may be, you have to now assimilate into that role. You know, it's crazy. It's a crazy experience.
It is. It is, and I wouldn't change it. It's amazing, honestly.
For sure. So the whole reason, you know, why we brought you here, I've been watching you for some time. I think I forgot how I came across you, but I remember, you know, I just remember Mabin's Kitchen. Okay. Mabin's Kitchen. And I was like, yo, this girl is doing her thing. I think the first time was across Afro Brunch. But before we get into that, I just wanted to know, okay, first things first, like, how did you come about with Mabin's Kitchen, and where did your passion for cooking come from?
Okay, so growing up, I was a picky eater. And then I'm also like number 9 out of 10 kids. Right. So my dad thought I was the last girl. And so I'm super daddy's girl. My mom, if she cooks, and I don't eat too much spicy food, like pepper, but you know, Africans, we eat a lot of hot food. So I wouldn't eat some of the food that my mom would make, and my dad would just be like, here, go get, you know, here's something, you go do your own thing. So I'll go get my own, you know, food items or whatever, and I'll come and cook. Started cooking like that, just putting in what I believe I would want it to taste like. And then over time, of course, as I got older, it started making sense. Like my food is now tasting a lot better, you know. And also my sister's husband, he was a professional chef, but I'm an American chef. And then my mom is she's a home mom, so she cooks dinner every day. So the two of them cooking here and there, and that's why my food is like a fusion of African and like an American food. So it's not typical African food, and then it's not like typical American food either. So you get the best of both worlds. Long story short, I started cooking around like for friends and families, and then immediately I was like, oh, this is going far, and I love it. I could cook and fill out this whole room, and it won't feel like work. It won't feel like work. So I'm like, okay, this is passion. It started becoming passion for me. And I just built off of friends and family. I was like, all right, let me register, because it's food. Anything dealing with food, you want to be on the right track, because anything can happen. Allergies, all sorts of things. So I registered my business, and it just took off. Thankfully, there was a Sierra Leonean event that happens every year. It's called AWO. AWO. Yeah. That same year that I registered my company, they had the event. They were
first, like one of their first.
I don't even know if it was the first, but they had it, and they reached out to me. We go from there. So just build up from that. So yeah, that's how I started with Mabin's Kitchen. Well,
that's how Mabin's Kitchen got started. Okay. So did you? So you had a passion for cooking growing up. Did you ever want to pursue that, like, through culinary art school or anything like that?
No, but actually, as of recent, I have been thinking about it, contemplating on taking even just, little simple courses here and there, just to get more into the generics of like foods. And, right now, I'm honestly not doing so much catering for events. I'm more so now doing things that I can build off of, like residual income from the food, the brand that I've developed. So
right, I see that.
Yes, there's a lot coming with that. So yeah.
No, definitely, it's a big transition. You know what I mean? So I just kind of wanted to talk about history, because you've been someone that I've seen constantly elevate year after year after year. So you registered Mabin's Kitchen, like, want to say 2017, 20?
Oh no! I registered Mabin's Kitchen probably 2015 or 16.
Yeah, because I think that's when I came across you. It was like 2017, something like that. Okay. So when did you? I guess you had been cooking for all this time. When did you start taking, I guess, catering seriously? Was it the AWOL?
Yeah. Well, so one of my friends, she really loves like food, and she really loves my food, and she was dating I think the cousin of the vice president of Uganda. So they invited him down here they were on their independence weekend. So I went, and they wanted me to cook, and I mean, they were blown away. And they're not Sierra Leonean either, so it's like completely different East Africa, but they love it. And they were all like, you need to register, and just make this into a thing. Don't do anything else because food is your thing. So they kept putting that in my head. And I'm like, I was just doing it for passion and I love the cooking, but I could do it. But you know how African parents, when they think of careers, cooking is not one of them, okay?
That's something we know very well.
Absolutely. So I had to kind of shove it away in a little bit and just like focus on school and trying to establish what they believe is a secured career. But eventually, as I get this catering gigs, and I'm like, this is good money. And I love making money. Okay. So I took it to registration, and then when they hit me up to do that event, it was a big event because this is almost 500 people.
Right.
For my first time also, it was crazy. So I had to put together a team really quick. Most of them I've already known them. I went to high school with some of these people or just people around me, and I'm like, okay, let me deal with people that I know at least as a startup. And once I put the team together, that first event was seamless, and I was like, and I can make this much and give this much time to it. Dope. So I got straight into it. Very serious.
No, I definitely feel that. You know what I mean? I was gonna ask. So you were kind of thrown into that situation where you had to make shift for an event for like 500 people. And did you have like any guidance that you like seeked out to, like, okay, you know, this is my first time catering an event. Is there someone, you know, that you look to kind of give you an advice as to how you should go about that? Make sure all your ducks was in a row. Was it kind of like a learning process for you?
It was definitely a learning process for me, but of course, you know, along the way, I've been looking into other caterers, you know, I watch a lot of cooking shows and so on, but I was in school for project management.
Right.
So I know what it takes to manage a project like that. And so it's literally checks and balances. And it was easier for me. That helped a lot as far as planning it and making sure that it just goes, and also with catering, you're asking the client, you know, they tell you what they want, right? Other than the food part where, you know, the taste has to be immaculate, you pretty much listen to what they want and you give that to them. Just make sure that the food is good. But I was able to capture whatever they were looking for. And from there, I got like several other actually gigs from that event because a lot of people, you know, were taking my information, and it just blew from there, honestly.
Facts. You know, your work speaks for itself, right?
Thank you.
And I know it speaks for itself because I needed you to come on here and make sure you let the world know who has the best jollof rice, because you've won multiple competitions.
Yes.
Using Sierra Leonean jollof rice recipe.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So first and foremost, at what point did you feel comfortable, I guess, entering into competitions? And then obviously I know you've won, but how many have you won, and what's been your most treasured competition that you've won?
I think that this last one that I did with Jollof Festival is my most treasured, just because Sierra Leone is very small compared to like Nigeria and Ghana and all of these popular countries that believe they have the best jollof. Cameroon also. But
does Cameroon even have jollof rice?
They do. They actually do. Yes.
I've never.
In my book, because I have a book coming out, my book of jollof.
Hey, let's talk about it.
Listen, okay? So with Sierra Leone having that disadvantage with the smaller population, when I was asked to do the competition, I told them that there's only one way that I'll do it, and if they do a blind tasting. I believe, because with the thing with Nigerians and Ghanaians and just with people in general, they're going to rep for what, you know, their own. And we know Nigerians particularly are very patriotic.
Nigeria, not the carry last.
Exactly. So I was like, there's no way. I'm not going to waste my time to cook when I know really my jollof really is better than all of their tomato and rice that they have there, because it's really not jollof. I do still love all my Ghanaians, my Nigerians, just for the FYI. But we're just talking facts, and we're talking jollof, and tomato and rice is not jollof.
You ain't gotta, you preaching to the choir right now.
Right, exactly. So I know this, and I was really like, you're not gonna cheat me off. And when I asked for the blind tasting, I said they can rep by colors. So they agreed to it, and we did it, and we won. So it's treasured because, and it's the only competition that they've done that's blind tasting. We won.
Exactly. It speaks for itself. Like I said, you don't have to fight nobody. You don't have to tell nobody. No. You know, it's clearly. So wait, how many countries entered? Just so. It
was a lot of countries.
And it was multiple cooks, right?
It was multiple cooks, except they get narrowed down to like top 5, and then like from there they pick. But it was a few countries. It was about the last one. I think it was about 9 countries: Cameroon, Ghana, Senegal, Gambia, Sierra Leone, of course, Liberia, and Nigeria. We know, so they were all in there.
Okay, and then so like I said, prior to you being asked, so you've always been approached for competitions,
yes,
or
both
did you
of
ever
them
feel
I was
confident?
Actually approached.
Okay. So I guess we know it. We I guess know that Sierra Leone has one of the better tasting meals out there. So a lot of people will say that they're not familiar with Sierra Leonean recipes outside of cassava leaf. Most people, if you really know, some people know potato leaf. So what are some other Sierra Leonean dishes that I guess are popular that I guess you would enter into, competitions to make sure that people are aware of these different recipes?
I mean, it's definitely with Sierra Leone. We have, I don't know how many competitions they're doing out there other than Jollof, which is very common within West Africa in general. But as far as, like, say for example, when you say cassava leaves or potato leaves, it's only like it'll be between like Liberia and Sierra Leone. So it's kind of hard to find competitions that would circulate around other countries because we don't really share the same foods. But I would say something like fufu, like a goosey or something, because a lot of our different countries do that. But whatever, I'm not really too familiar either with like so many Sierra Leone like traditional recipes. But but either way, the ones that I do know, the popular ones, the cassava leaves, potato leaves, like peanut butter soup too, that's popular. But yeah, I'm down for any competition, honestly, with food.
I feel like there's a lot of you're right in the sense that there's a lot of similar ethnic foods that we might share in common. So one thing I've learned, like for example, Cameroonians have this one meal called arrow, right? Me personally, I wasn't a fan of it in the beginning, and it took some time to get adjusted because people make things differently,
right?
And arrow is the closest thing to potato leaves as possible.
Okay.
Like, it tastes different. It's cooked different. But it's very similar.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's something to me that I would like. Yeah, trust me. I know some people. We'll talk. We'll talk. Okay. So that was another question I was gonna ask you. Like, are you a fan of other cultures' food? Like
absolutely. Oh my God! Like, I am planning a tour to go around just eating food, literally. So, but it's also part of the book that I'm working on for Jollof. The book is really done. However, I wanted to add like more authenticity to the book, and that's why the countries that I did feature in the book, I want to travel to those countries and get their recipe from their perspective also, and then include that just to add credibility and content. But I'm definitely open to trying
other food. So let's jump back into it. Afro Brunch and Chill, right? Who was the team behind that at the time? It seemed like it was taking off right before COVID hit. So who was the team behind that, and is that something that you're looking to bring back?
Yes. That's part of why I'm even here during this trip, is to make certain meetings, arrangements to kind of bring that back. Afro Brunch really started after the Jollof win, and again, the reason why that win was so impactful is not only when I went to Sierra Leone, crazy, right? On my way from the airport, I heard on the radio, "Oh, our sister is coming back home, blah, blah, she won the Jollof for Sierra Leone." So I didn't even know. And I'm like,
You know, Sierra Leone knows how to support our own. You know, we are
They
big,
do.
big
And I was like,
yeah.
oh my God. It was so crazy because I'm like, I don't really know people other than family in Sierra Leone because I left so young. So I'm like, they know about this. Then when I got in, I happened to talk to one of the CEOs for one of the biggest Sierra Leonean TV networks. And he's like, oh yeah, we showed it on TV because it was BBC actually featured an article on that Jollof.
Right.
Because they were like the underdog, came up.
Yeah.
So it went, there was so many articles, and the ambassador for Sierra Leone even called me too because they heard about it. And so that after that win, a lot of people, I guess with social media now, everything going far in Sierra Leone being a small country, I keep getting like people reaching out to me about where they could get my food. And I don't have a restaurant at the time because I'm still in school and working. And so I was only catering, and I wanted to provide something for my customers where, they can enjoy my food. It doesn't have to, and also with catering, I only cater a certain amount. Like I don't cater for super small events. So I wanted to give those people a chance to also try my food, and that's why I came up with Afro Brunch and Chill once a month. Just have a day party and have like just food everywhere, music, games, just something really fun and refreshing. Just enjoying the food and immersing yourself in the culture too. So
Who's the team that was pushing that with you?
I worked with a bunch of promoters.
Because you were doing it at Caldi's, or was it multiple venues?
I did do it at Caldi's, but the first one that I did was at Aerospaces.
Oh yeah.
It was definitely packed out, and I was like, oh my God, we need a bigger space. So then we moved to Caldi's and do it at their rooftop too. It was also pretty good setup. So I was just trying out different venues to see where it really looks fitting.
Appealing, yeah.
Right.
I was gonna ask because does it make it challenging, because with venues like Caldi's, Palaces, basically everywhere downtown Silver Spring or even DC, there a lot of these lounges are also attached restaurants. So does that make it even more difficult, or does that push you to want to create your own restaurant?
Well, the whole restaurant idea, I think I had it when I first started with the cooking, because I was like excited about it. And then now as I've gotten older, and of course my hats are like in everywhere, I'm like, I'm not gonna have time to do a restaurant, and restaurant requires so much time because it's something that's very tedious. Like it requires you to be there 24/7, and I'm in a professional environment where I do have the flexibility, but not to an extent where I'll be able to run a full-end restaurant. So when I do the events at these venues, we do a deal. We struck a deal where on a Sunday, for example, what you will be able to do on your own day party is definitely not compared to having a packed out event where you have a certain percentage with drinks. It was a win-win for both the venue and myself. So it was easier for me to, and it's so crazy, all the venues that I've been to, the owners would come and join the food. They were like, oh, we love this food, no wonder. And even Caldi's now, they feature my Jollof in their menus. So
Okay. That's another thing. Let me actually, since you're on that, right? So you outsource your recipes to, so like you feel comfortable outsourcing your recipes to other people?
Absolutely. That's why I'm doing it.
For a fee?
Doing it for the people.
How do you,
of
what
course.
does that process look like?
The process with that is definitely for a fee. It's business. So I'm like, I'm not being creative. Cooking is art.
So you'd be like 3/4 teaspoons.
Yeah. Oh yes. Most of my recipes down packed. I even have an app where I store all of them.
Okay.
Everything to a T.
Wow.
Because I need, if I'm not there, you can cook. Even the book that I'm doing on Jollof, what I pictured was a Caucasian man who knows nothing about African food to be able to cook that food from beginning to end. So it's definitely broken down with measurements and everything.
That's dope. So that actually swings me into Mabin's herbs and spices, because we talking about our Caucasian brethren that, for lack of a better term, lack taste. black taste. So these herbs and spices, not only have you given them the measurements, but these are actual spices that you use in your everyday cooking.
Absolutely. And like two of these, this one and this, I call these the Mabin special blends.
Okay.
Because these from scratch, like say for example, the paprika, cayenne pepper, you can always get it from your local
What
stores.
flavors are those?
So these are special blends. So it's a lot of different things. And over the years, when I do season my food, meats and so on, I use of course different spices put together, right? Those different spices put together is what I just put in one container for you, pretty much. So you don't have to say, oh, let me add ginger, let me go add garlic now, and this, everything is in one. And this is really what I've been using over the years to season all my food.
How many I guess flavors do you have all together?
So right here, this is the rack, and it comes with 20 different seasonings. These are all like literally made from the comfort of my home.
Wow.
Literally. So
that's a whole nother ball game of questions that I have, but for time purposes, let's keep it.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you have 20 different flavors.
20 different ones.
How do you deter? So I'm assuming you got curry, you got seasonal,
of course.
Old Bay, turmeric, cinnamon.
I don't have cinnamon yet.
Okay.
But I'm working on that. More to come, definitely.
Okay.
This is 3 months of work.
So I guess I want to start 3 months of work. Okay, so I have a few questions. I guess the questions that I do want to ask is, how do you partner with, I guess, how do you actually get the seasoning, right? That's one. And then two, obviously, project management, we know how to work on projects and get all of that. So I'm very confident in your skills. But I guess, how do you determine what seasonings you want to make? Include, yeah.
Okay. So when I was thinking about the rack, and one of our slogans is that we are your spice route. So if you think about back in the day during like imperial times, certain spices would only be available in certain regions of the world. So like cilantro, for example, you can only find in like Mexico or something, right? So entrepreneurs would use spice routes to go to these different regions to be able to get that spice and, of course, navigate with it around.
Teaching me something. I'm learning.
And so we are your spice routes. You don't have to go to Mexico to go get the authentic cilantro mix or paprika. You come to us because we've already gone to Mexico. You know what I mean? So when I was thinking about doing the spice route, I thought about how I could incorporate most of the different cultures into it, right? So I thought about curry, Jamaican food, and then I have a Tex-Mex seasoning if you want to make your burritos or tacos and stuff, so including there. And then I have what is it here? Of course I have another thing with this Mabin's blend. So you know how Africans, we use Maggi a lot, right?
Yeah.
Maggi is very classic. I didn't want to take away Maggi because then I'm lying. I add Maggi to my dishes. But then, by the way, my spice is all organic. And so Maggi, being that it has MSG and all of that stuff that I don't want on my food, we mimicked the Maggi taste on here without the MSG.
Yo, this is a lot of science for me.
So, yes, I literally did my research on this. That's why I was even planning on taking more courses just to elaborate my knowledge on these. But that's part of how I was thinking about what to include and just a little bit of everything from all over, something that's universal. And then also after this launch now, I'm also planning on doing YouTube series.
Literally, when I look at you, you're like the Sierra Leonean Martha Stewart. Literally, you have a whole kitchen.
Starting a YouTube channel, and I'll be going over a lot of different recipes, which I'll be asking my viewers, what do you want to see me cook, blah blah blah, and we'll be using the spice. So I had to make a universal.
So we got a cookbook, we got the spices. We obviously know you can cook. We got our catering business that we don't even, man, that's residual at this point.
Yes.
Wow. You have a whole lot.
We have some hot cooking wares to come also. I'm expanding. I'm trying to explore anything food. And then I even move on to drinks. I have Detox Juices also that are out. Even we have them now even because I try to stay on top of my health thing. So after weekend is like coming down to the DMV, I need a good 3 or 4 day detox. And so I have this detox cleanser juice. They're like cold pressed juices.
Okay.
That I also started. So
I was actually gonna ask, with all this cooking, right? You as a woman, now I know you look lovely. I know the viewers can't see the full view, so I'm gonna say, I'm gonna ask this politely. How do you, I guess, keep up with your appearance with all the cooking that you do and having to, taste test and different variations of that? Like, how do you manage that?
So thankfully, I don't know if this happens to a lot of cooks, but for me, when I cook, I'm not as enthusiastic to eat the food, right? So thank God for that. But if you're around me, now you're definitely going to need to be in the gym, detoxing, doing everything. Because one thing about me, if you're excited about food, I'm excited about cooking it. Right. So I'm more excited about cooking for people than myself. And then when I'm done cooking, I'll head to McDonald's or something, which is really bad. So as far as keeping up with my appearances, I work out, try to keep up. Now I live in Florida. I leave like 4 minutes from the beach. So every morning I try to literally just either walk down there or jog down there and like just do that. And then I also do the detoxing. When I started looking into that also, that's how I came up with, okay. I met a couple of people who are doing it already, like cold pressed juices. So I wanted to like really change my lifestyle, my eating and lifestyle. And I was like, okay, I'm in Florida now. Most of the food here is honestly, I moved to Florida because after Sierra Leone, when I came back from my visit in Africa, and I went to Florida for a business meeting. And then I had like an extra day to just like roam around or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I went to the farmer's market, right? Because those are the things that I like to, like I don't like grocery stores and stuff. I'll go to like a farmer's market or like a flea market going on. And I went there and I was outside. I didn't even come in yet. But the mangoes, you know how Africa, the mangoes smell different? Yeah. And the oranges are like different. You know the difference with the food, right? It smelled almost like the ones in Africa. And I was like, oh my God, that's mango. That's that good mango smell. I traced it literally and I saw a whole rack. I'm like, oh my God, this is good. This must be organic. And Florida soil is also similar to that of ours in Africa due to the continental drift. That's a whole other thing. But anyways, once I smelled that, I went there, I was like, oh my God, they have organic food. And part of why I actually moved to Florida is that.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, so I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Trying to get into the little, what I call the effery. So, Miss Carol, we see you hopping out on live, with my good boy, Fuad.
My headache.
DJ Philo,
Philo, yes.
You got a lot of men out here show stopping for you.
These are Fuad, for example, is just my headache. My
Really?
online virtual headache as Fuad. Believe it or not, I've met Fuad one time.
That's it?
Face to face. In person, I met him one time, and he's just hilarious. He's a breath of fresh air, and I know he got a good followers of course, Sierra Leonean community, which I wasn't so open to, but that's only because I lived in Gettysburg. Okay. Growing up here, and I never really came down to PG, honestly. And a lot of Sierra Leoneans are down in PG here. I just started coming down here now because of the food stuff. So I wanted to gain a new, reach out to my Sierra Leonean people. So I'll do the little, lives with Fuad and Philo. And, they're big. They're like symbolic Sierra Leonean people, So, yeah. But they're amazing.
So, they kind of putting their claim on you. I don't know. Is the DMs
Lord
open?
have mercy. Listen, okay.
Is the DMs open?
The DMs are there. They're open, but I'm close-minded to them because, I have to be. I mean, there's a lot of bogus stories going around here, you know?
Bogus. Yo,
Bananas.
this is not no ordinary woman, fellas. She has a business. You see, she got businesses, plural. Okay. So please. Wait. So do you want to stay? Let me ask you a question. So are you good with like Sierra Leonean men? Do you want to stay within the Sierra Leonean community, or do you feel like you want to venture off?
I haven't been in a relationship with a Sierra Leonean man. Sadly.
I'm hurt.
Okay, no, don't be hurt. I did talk to one.
I'm hurt.
No, you know why? This is gonna blow you, right?
You know, say Saloma now.
No, but not to that. You know, let me tell you what it is.
Wow.
Right after high school, when I started dating, like when I was in college, the person that I was with him for almost 11 years.
Okay.
So I didn't get to like date around.
Okay. Makes sense.
And then now I'm just like, I'm open, I suppose, but
you know, when you travel a lot,
don't really.
What about Sierra Leone? What about Sierra Leone?
They don't. They blame you a lot for not approaching you, and I'm just like, what? Like, how you get intimidated before even knowing me? Like, so I'm like, I don't understand how to deal with.
Have you looked at yourself in the mirror? Carol, have you honestly look at yourself in the mirror?
Okay.
And then how can you
the same way other men that were able to captivate me have done? But ours, I think it's that whole, they know I'm Sierra Leonean, so they expected me to give them that 50% way already in the beginning. But I'm sorry, because biblically, yes, I am.
Wow, here we go.
Christian, and I was raised with parts of the Bible, well, all of it. They tried, my parents, but so I know that a man. I mean, you guys are hunters, right? And I love me a brave, hardworking, bold man. So hunt your way. Come on, come.
Jesus Christ, hunt your way.
Come on.
No, because these lives are getting serious.
Bring it forward. Don't sit there and say,
Carol,
"Oh, I'm gonna take
start
2
looking
steps,"
for you.
and then like. I know that is very true. Not hunt your way to me. Let me make that clear.
Carol.
I'm just saying. If you were to approach me, but Sierra Leonean men would approach you, and then they'll be like, they wouldn't even approach you, right? They'll just be like, you know, like Salomon, da 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 da, and I'm like, what? Is that your first thing? Is that your way of saying you like me? Because this is too different. Like coming at me and telling me what I don't like or what I like, it's crazy.
So what's the way to Carol's heart? Obviously, you have to be captivated. We know that.
You know what? As I've at my age today, and thankful for experiences and different journeys, the man, one of the biggest qualities that I look for in a man is a man that's God-fearing.
Okay.
That trickles down to a lot of other things, because when you're God-fearing, then you don't do a lot of other crazy things, a lot of headaches. So I definitely love a God-fearing man, but I love an intelligent man. Anything for me is like something that could be explored, like whether a business or whatever. So like I want somebody that we can bounce off ideas, talk about everything, and just a smart person, like, But
you're also a busy woman.
I am a busy woman. But if it's worth it, I make time, definitely. If it's worth it.
Okay. A lot of women say that. I got my own thoughts and opinions with women.
No, please release it, because it really is.
It's a lot.
If it's worth it. I mean, why would I try to like put time to something?
I don't know. My only issue, I guess, with women and choosing who they choose to talk to as men is, okay, at what point do women know or feel convinced that this is the guy that I'm gonna take serious? Like I always feel like a guy can come to you, and of course I know guys bullshit and all of that. That's not the part I'm talking about. I'm talking about the guys that's not bullshitting, right?
Okay.
To you, who I know as Carol, this complete package that you are, right? How can I come up to you? You see me, right? I'm like, yo, Carol, like, what's up? Like, let's talk. Let's take some time. Let's get to know each other.
Right.
How do you take me seriously?
Okay.
Like I have to come all the time. I go see you, Carol. You go answer me call. You answer me text.
No, you know what? You're right. And even for me personally, after I moved, and I'm like, okay, it's a new thing for me, and I had just gotten out of a relationship, so I was like, let me just try to do what I need to do, put my energy into my creativity and so on. So meeting guys wasn't really like a priority, right? And I'll say it up front too. Like if I'm in that space where I know I'm not gonna put going on a date with you over me having this podcast today, right?
Facts.
So when I'm in that space, if you understand it and support it, then I can clearly, when I do have time, you're the first in line that I would think about, right? Not the one that told me, oh, so you can't even make time for me when I'm talking to you. I don't know what space you're in that you have time to talk to me, but I know what space I'm in, and that's why I don't have time to talk to you. But if you can't understand that, or at least get to understand why I don't have the time, and be patient. So I guess being patient is also another characteristic trait that I would say I'm looking for in a man. True. Especially right now as I'm building myself. You have to be patient. So the last guy that I last talked to, he was very patient, very loving. I'm a daddy's girl. I like to be spoiled. Even though I do work hard.
There you go.
Even though I do work hard.
I know you got your own money, so I already
hard,
know. Yeah.
But I definitely enjoy to be spoiled.
Right. Like any woman should.
Right, absolutely. And I'll tell you, like what I don't like, and if you can provide that, then let's try it.
Hey, we shall see. This has been Miss Carol. Yo, Miss Carol, I got one more question for you, right? So Stuck in the Middle. This is our 5-year anniversary, right? We got some events planned. Obviously, we would love for you to be a guest, but not only do we want you to be a guest, we want to possibly see if we can work in a partnership with Catering. But we'll talk off air. I just wanted to sneak that in there to let the people know that if they're coming out,
excited about food, so yes.
If they're coming out, they're gonna have some fine Sierra Leonean or cuisine, not Sierra Leonean cuisine, but cuisine from a fine Sierra Leonean woman.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. I mean, I'll definitely love to collaborate with you guys on that.
For sure. So we're gonna talk about it. Yo, this has been Miss Carol. She's on. What is this? I'm not even going to call this the couch shot. This is a regular interview. This is just a casual conversation. Yes. She's here with Stuck in the Middle. I'm your host, Sir Charles, a.k.a. Capo. I got my good people with me in the building, Tutu Baby Reflex. Yo, make sure you follow us on Stuck in the Middle, SitM Podcast on all social media platforms, YouTube. Hit that ringer bell, get all notifications. Stay tuned to what we have coming up, okay? Where can the people follow you? I forgot. One last thing. Where can the people follow you?
Definitely Miss on Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Miss MS_Carol_Love. And also on Facebook, Carol Love. And that's CAROL, not K. I'm on Instagram. And then once you're on that Carol Love page, on my profile, I have the rest of my other business pages on there.
All the entities.
Yes.
Yo, but once again, I want to thank you for coming out. Thank you for hanging out with us on this lovely Sunday.
Thank you.
I hope the people get to see you out. And I know summer competitions are coming up, so make sure.
This summer, I'm excited. Actually, you know what? Another business venture that I'm doing is crop tops. I wear a lot of crop tops because now I live in Florida, so it's hot. Beautiful weather, so I'm doing like Carol's crop tops, and I'm working with a phenomenal designer. Like when I said great, he's on next level great.
So we got herbs and spices, Mabin's Kitchen.
We have
Carol's
cold pressed juices.
Crop tops.
We have a book coming out on Jollof. Yes.
Hey, this woman is getting to it.
Crop tops, like look at how beautiful this is.
This is amazing to see. This is amazing to see. Yo, I'm your host, Sir Charles, a.k.a. Capo. I got Flex with me. I got Tutu Baby. Miss Carol has been with us. She's a lovely, lovely, lovely host. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Once again, this has been Stuck in the Middle. Hope to see you guys later. Bye.
It's Fizzy Bit.